Heard this speech was only 3 to 5 minutes, so I can throw the Premier's notes that he gave me about making this talk tonight. So I get rid of those. I've only been in Manitoba since 1971 when I first came here. And I'm probably still the only guy here that doesn't speak one of Canada's two official languages, French or English. But anyhow, great honor to be able to coach these great players here for that 87, 88, and 89 national championship team. But on behalf of Brandon University, I'd like to congratulate all the fellow inductees for being selected into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. And it's pretty bright up here, but wherever he is, special call out to John Montgomery, whose father Eldon played hockey and football at Brandon College back in the 1960s. Also like to thank Rick Brownlee and the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame committee for this special honor and recognition. Special thanks to our athletic director at Brandon University, Russ Paddock, and Tyler Crayston, of Special Events Coordinator, for all their effort and work in nominating these three great teams. I'd also like to thank my good friend, Ross Wedlake, President of Manitoba Basketball Hall of Fame, for his effort in promoting these three championship teams to the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame Committee. Also, I'd like to thank the Great Plains Athletic Conference for the intense competition that we got in 1987, 88, and 89. During that era of time, some of the best teams were in our own backyard. At one time, we had Manitoba, University of Winnipeg, University of Regina, and the Brandon Bobcats all ranked in the top 10 nationally. The Bobcat Dynasty is very proud to complete another impressive hat trick with our previous inductions into the BU Sports Hall of Fame, the Manitoba Basketball Hall of Fame, and now the icing on the cake with our induction into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. In 1987, I knew we had an opportunity to do something special, as we had the only five-time first-team All-Canadian in the history of university men's sport in John Carson. I told people at that time the game was like a poker game, a 5-card stud with a hole card. I knew my team was going to be hard to beat because my ace in the hole was John Carson. John that day scored 38 points in the championship win against the University of British Columbia and was named to the tournament all-star team and the MVP. In 1988, we had a bullseye on our back, knowing we had the opportunity to repeat, but the pressure only made us better down the stretch to achieve that goal. We knew every team was going to play their best basketball against the Brandon Bobcats, and those tough games really prepared us. In 1988, without a doubt, we were the best university basketball team in Canada. Against Canadian competition, we went 35-1 that year, losing in the championship of the Naismith tournament to Acadia. Later, during the holidays, we traveled to Wolffield, Nova Scotia, and played in their tournament. They only had 6 teams. So the coach decided the first night, let's Brandon and Acadia play. We beat them in overtime. The next night, we played in the tournament. We won, Acadia won. So we met Acadia in the final game, and again, we defeated them on their home court in double overtime. So we won our last 30 games, ending the season with an 81-68 championship win over Acadia again in a hostile environment in Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you ever play in Halifax and you play a Maritimes team, you're going to have about 11,000 fans, and us, you can probably count they've got probably 9,980 of those fans are cheering for Acadia. So it was quite a win for us. In 1989, Whitney Dabney at that time led us in scoring with 29 points and was named the tournament MVP. In 1989, we defeated our arch rival, the Victoria Vikings. Keep in mind, in the 80s, only 2 universities in men's basketball won all the national championships. UVic won 7, defeating us in 1980 and again in 1983. So it was sweet revenge when we had a chance to play them in the championship in '89. We defeated them with 2-time National Player of the Year Patrick Jefferson blocking a game-ending shot to preserve a 74-73 win. Also, the Premier talked about this earlier about one of our players making a great play he'd never seen at Manitoba. Marvin Russell, where's Marv at? There, made an outstanding play in that game. Victoria was defending out-of-bounds plays on the end line by playing 5 defenders against us. So they would turn their back against the guy taking the ball out of bounds. Marvin, present of mind, threw the ball off the back of the person, came inbounds, gathered the ball, and scored. So think about that. And we won the game 74-73. If that doesn't happen, we're not standing up here tonight. As it was mentioned earlier there, Joey Vickery out of Westwood High School in Winnipeg scored 23 points to become the first recipient of the Jack Donahue Trophy for the tournament MVP. To reach the podium for 3 straight seasons is something that we're all very proud of. These Bobcats are a special group of men, and we're bonded forever now that we're immortalized into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.